So, in previous session we were discussing about intro of this class. I mean, just saying overall like what is available, what is not available, right?
Yeah.
Now we'll go differently, step by step. Uh, so, what is class level variables are variables declared at just below your class, okay? Just below your class. So now you can see right. Now let me define it here. What is required as we were discussed about yesterday, like access specifiers, isn't it? Access modifiers like public,
Yeah,
global, and private, right?
Private.
that's it.
When class is public, when class itself is a public, you can't define your class level variables as a global. Because the main, I'm saying that, hey, this particular land or this particular area is available only local within the fabric people. So you can't expose to everyone. So when the class is public, you can write only a public. It's a maximum access specifier in the variables level. Okay, you can't have a global inside public, but you can have a global. And here at a class level, if you have a global, you can define your public variables. It's fine. It's validated. Okay.
Mm.
Now here what I need to do, here I need to define my variable. The variable declaration will be access modifier or a specifier, static, and your data type, what data type you wanted to do.
క్లాస్ లెవెల్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ గ్లోబల్ అన్నట్టే కదా.
No, that's wrong. We have Salesforce having a global concept. Access specifier itself global, right?
Yeah.
These are at a class level. At a class level, see, these are where we are declaring this just beneath your class, isn't it? There is no methods, nothing. This is just right inside class. Then these variables are called class level variables. Okay.
ఓకే ఓకే. సో
So we have class level and local variables.
Yeah.
You
నో
told.
నో గ్లోబల్.
Global. If I say here it is global, then I can say it's a global. See, ideally, yes. If you are talking about OOPS concept, the people says this is a global variable. Class level variables are global variables. Okay.
ఓకే.
But in Salesforce, the global itself is a different concept. So I don't want to confuse by saying global variable. So only wantedly, I mean explicitly mention it's a class level variable.
ఓకే.
Because we are talking about some global, right? If we
యా.
start reading this as a global, then what you will read for global then?
యాక్సెస్ స్పెసిఫై ఫర్ గ్లోబల్. యా, దేర్ విల్ బి కన్ఫ్యూజన్.
Yeah. So only I'm saying class level variables and local variables. That's it.
ఓకే
Public
ఓకే.
static string. What is string here? What is string? A data type,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
యా.
String is a data type, and you can say variable name equal to. When I say equal to something, then that is called initializer. Clear? If I use equal operator, then that is called initialized. So in a terms, if I say this way, I wanted to travel. I'm thinking to study in Canada. And will, if someone asks me about which college, which thing, do I have an answer now?
Yeah.
I
నౌ
have
యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్.
now. I don't have, right? But I'm just thinking I wanted to study in Canada. Think that I wanted to study in Canada itself. Wanted to study in Canada is like a variable for me. But does this have any judgmental answer? Like, does this have any space with Canada government? No, right?
Mm.
No.
Why? That just my thought, nothing but declaration. Let's say public static string want to study. Now, what is the default value? What is the value want to study now? What is the value for this? The value
Null.
It
for
shows.
this is empty
Yeah.
or null, huh? Or blank. All these are same or different.
Yeah.
All these three things are same or different. Empty, null, or blank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
refers.
It's same.
It's same. Seriously? Okay. What is difference between vacuum and empty? What is difference between vacuum and empty?
Vacuum is something like you're vacuuming your room. Empty is there is no air, nothing, nothing.
Okay. Vacuum.
Vacuum.
Okay, let me ask you this way. When you are having your beer, whether you'll say it's a vacuum or it's empty once it is done.
Uh,
Same.
Empty.
Empty, right? So why it is empty? Why it is not vacuum? When you'll say empty,
When
you
there
are
is,
when there
there
is
is
nothing. When there is nothing, it's not a term. We refer empty term only if you are expecting something to exist. If that is not there, then we'll say it's empty. It could have, let's say, you have like beer and you also have like a cool drink. You are expecting like a beer to be beer, then even that bottle filled with cool drink. Let's say I had my beer and I filled with my cool drink. Then whether if someone asks what you'll say, you'll say that no cool drink is there. No, we don't say, right? We always refers to empty, right?
yes,
Because we are expecting something to be available. If the expectation subject is not exist, then we'll say empty. Here we are
like
expecting a beer within a can, but the can contains something else other than the beer, so it's empty for us.
yeah,
What is vacuum? Vacuum means it might exist, but it doesn't contain anything, not even air, not even any matter. It's nothing exists, right?
yeah, yeah.
When I say nothing exists, does it require any space anymore? Does it require any space?
No.
Now tell me, all these three things are same or different?
Different.
Okay, now that is very important in writing a code. Everything have its own importance. They are not same.
Yeah.
So this is not R. This is un. Empty. Null means it doesn't even exist. The default value for this is null because it doesn't even exist because there is no memory got assigned. When memory get assigned only by using a equal operator, assign operator. What you will say equal operator? Equal operator will be your assign operator. Assignment. Assign operator. Clear? Any question in this?
No.
No,
Assign operator. And this is called null. Let's talk about one more thing. What is blank? Public static string password equal to, then this is blank because you initialize in memory, but value is blank. Clear?
Yes.
And the other thing you can say, there is other way of doing public static string username equal to null. But here the default value for this is null. Here also it is null. What is the difference between these two then?
Want to study is a question mark because we don't know what we're gonna study.
No, no,
That's a
no. Let's
statement.
come out from those topics. That's just like an explanation I wanted to do. Here also it is null, and here also null. Right? What could be the difference between these two variables by looking into it?
No difference actually.
Ah, okay. The only technical difference is called this is declaration.
Yeah.
Declaration of variable, right?
Yeah.
And this is called initialization of variable. Initialization of variable. So in this case, what happened when you are using a equal assign operator, then automatically the value will say that initialization because we are creating a memory, I mean a folder for username always.
Yeah.
Clear? Now let me show you that in a diagram. Deploy this to R. It's not available here. It's fine. జనరల్గా ఏంటంటే ఏదైనా కంపైలర్ కనుక ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయితే అండి ఇట్ హ్యావ్ టూ స్టేజెస్ ఓకే. Do you think the computer will understand your own language or it have its own understanding from the instructions?
It has its own understanding from the instructions.
Right? Let's keep left side is your left side is your it's our human language and right side will be your computers. Okay?
Yeah.
Whenever compiler loads, here what happened? Let's imagine your program execution started. Your program execution started. Is that visible, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Program execution started. Then what happened by default if a program execution started in a compiler? This is called compiler. Stack memory. What is stack and heap? I forgot these terms. Let's not take it here. Let's say here the compiler loaded. Then what happens? It will check for all static members of a class. It will check all static members of a class. What are the static members we have? Variable name, want to study, password, username, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whatever the values are assigned, whatever the values are initialized, those values will load in a compiler. Those values will load in a compiler. Let's imagine my compiler started. My compiler started and it is loading my subjects into here. So the first one it is loaded for a variable name called variable name. Okay. And next time it's loaded for wanted to study password username. Okay. And then what it will do? Control V. And it is loaded for password and it is loaded for username. Password username. Okay. Why it is loaded? As soon as compiler loaded, it will loads all the static memory. It will loads all the static memory to a stat in the stack. Okay, clear? This is how it will create an object. This is called computer. You got it?
Yeah.
Now, what it will do next? Because as I said, all static members will load first. Why this variable is not loaded yet?
Which one?
Wanted to study, want to study. Because this is declared, not never been initialized. So system handles, the code handles only initialized variables. It doesn't even handle like not in uninitialized values. If the value is not initialized in the sense if there is no equal symbol, then it will not load into memory because it may or may not use in the programming. Clear?
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, let's imagine this is your hard disk. If you start creating folders, what happens?
Uh, it will use the memory.
Exactly. Here also every variable is occupying a memory. So if
Okay.
it getting created for a non-declared variable, so it might consume empty folder, right?
Yes.
But if you need to consume memory, you can create a folder whenever you need it. Why you wanted to create today for nothing?
Mm. Okay.
This is how the program loads. And let's say if user changes value of variable name to initializer 10 in somewhere else in the code, not in this line, then what it will look, because it is a static variable, then computer compiler will go and look into static memory block and it will find a variable name called variable name and it replace its value to initializer 2, initializer 10 in this case. Okay, from here if you, the understanding is that static memory will not have any duplicated memory created, right? It always have only one memory folder and for an entire execution. What is execution? Execution means starting from here till here. This is called a transactional execution. Clear?
Mm.
Line number
The
11,
whole scope of the class.
full class scope. Class scope will talk about execution. If you call this class, if the class is executing, it means the scope of a class will be this one to this one.
Okay.
Imagine this way. If this class is called by another class and that class is called by another class, but you have to wait for all the execution to be completed in that transaction. Every class should be finished. Whatever has been invoked, those need to be finished successfully. That is called execution. Clear?
Mm.
Yeah.
Any question in this?
No.
No.
Okay. Now let's define a non-static variables. Static variables are clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's imagine I made these variables are a non-static. Simple. Only if I remove static key, then it becomes non-static.
So this is class level static variables,
I-
and
Class level
you're saying
non-static variables.
okay, okay, and okay.
If I remove that non-static static keyword, then it becomes non-static. That time what happens, the remain, the initialization declaration remain, the concept remains same. The only difference comes with the compiler. When the compiler loads, it never loads any of your variables anymore. Because the compiler will load by default static members. If the static members are not there, no memory. It just creates a static block. It creates the static block again. That's the first thing. Empty static block. Empty static block. Because we don't have any static members, keywords, right?
Yeah.
Empty static block, it creates empty static block. And then what it will do? If I create a new object, let's say I might have created an object for this class. Class intro of x equal to object new class. Then what happens? It will create one object here. It will create one object. This object will contain your object. This object will contain all your non-static member references. This is object 1. So now compiler will gonna create one object saying that obj, then it will create one object. Clear? This is nothing but your folder. Every time you see one circle, then that is a folder. If I update my object dot variable name, where it will update? It will update in this pool, isn't it?
Mm.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Let's imagine if I create another object. If I create another object, I created another object with in the name of obj2. In the name of obj2. In the name of obj2. What I'm doing here, what I'm saying, object dot variable name equal to Gautam. Object dot variable name equal to Gautam. What if I read object2 dot variable name equal to what will be the value?
It will show in your second one, second object.
What it will show?
Like that particular thing will be presented in your second object thing.
My question is, if I update my object dot obj dot, if I my question is obj dot variable name equal to Gautam. This is what I'm saying, right? And
It will show Gautam
if I
over there.
say obj dot two dot variable name, if I read and display it, read just say what will be the value?
Gautam.
Gautam. Okay, interesting. Let me do one thing. I'm going to my computer. Okay. Desktop. Okay, let me go to desktop. Yeah, that is fine, right? So I created a folder saying that Viharika, and I created one more folder called, let's say, instead of naming it this, obj2, rename obj1, and let me create one text file here only. Uh, okay, here, okay, let me create notepad, and I'll say this is initialized. This is my value that I am storing in obj1, saying that variable name. Okay, saved. Clear. By default, it's a obj1, right? Variable name copied, and same variable is also initialized with object2, right? Right? Yes or no? This is clear, right?
Yeah.
Now what I'm saying, so as same as this. So we created two objects. I created two folders. Two folders by default you will get whatever declared in the class level. Okay, it's not something different. Now if I
Hmm.
modify anything, let's say I've been to my files, I mean my variable. Technically, I went to my variable. I modified object one variable name to Gautam. Saved. What if I read a data from object two? Will it be Gautam?
No,
Why?
we changed only in the first object.
First object. I mean the first folder. If you can look the same, if you made any modification, it will modify only to this folder, this object values, not the other object
Yeah.
values, even though they are same. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your answer will be right. Your answer will be right if I have a static keyword. Because static keyword will never have any duplicate. It's a empty static block. Static keywords will load always bottom of the compiler. There will be no more duplicates. But non-static members will have their own objects. Each objects will have their own values for the same variable name again and again. Here I can say Gautam object one. I can create an object of a class saying that Niharika. I can store Niharika details always. What is Niharika's username? What is Niharika password? Where she wanted to study and the variable name. And if I create another object for a class saying that Gautam, I can store Gautam details. If I access as a Gautam object, then I'll get only Gautam details. If I access as a Viharika, then I'll get my Viharika's details. That is how the OOPS concepts works. You declared a variables non-static, then you can create an objects and assign the data multiple references data with a multiple objects. Clear? Any question here?
Mm.
You can visualize, right? This is very important. The folders you understand, right? Why, how it is explained.
Yeah.
Any question?
No.
Gautam, you have any?
No, Deepak.
Okay. Okay. We know what is this. What is local variables then? What is local variables? Local variables are
Inside
nothing but
your methods,
huh?
which we create inside our methods.
We create inside our methods are a constructors, not at a class level.
Yeah.
What, how to declare a method?
Uh,
Access
Two brackets.
access specifier
Yeah.
and then return type. The syntax of a method will always be access specifier static, no static. When I say this one, it means that either you can declare as a static. If you want to define your method as a static, then you have to use static. If you want to define as a non-static, then don't define static keyword. Return type, method name, args, right? How arguments will be defined? Data type, space, variable name, and then open bracket, close bracket, right? Set of instructions. What is instructions?
Rules and
Yes,
syntaxes.
not rules and syntaxes. What you wanted
Like
to achieve with
syntaxes.
that method.
Yeah.
So here I'll assign my access specifier is public, and for now I'll go with static, and what will be the return type? Return type I'll say void, no return, and method name I'll say that set person details. Set person details. Here in set person details, what I'll do wanted to study, and this variable name you are saying, right? What is the variable name here I'm talking about? Otherwise, we'll go with the non-static for now, for the first time. And here I'll say, what is the variable name? I say title. I'll say title. Now I'll take off, initialize 10 and everything is fine. Now see one thing. What happened in this case? If I want to set a person details, let's say I wanted to set, let me do one thing. Set Gautam details. Okay. I'm trying to set up Gautam details here. Let's talk about title equal to What will be title, Gautam? Which one you like?
Manager.
Manager. Oh, okay. And then wanted to study
Ah, yes.
SAI password equal to random username equal to what will be this username? I'll say that
John Wick.
I know SFDC Gautam. Okay. The same thing if I want to do for Niharika, then I don't want to rewrite things. Let me make say then I'll say
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Now let's see. In this case, right? If I want to add a third person details,
Just same, the copy and paste.
just copy. What if I want to add like 1 lakh people information?
Okay, then you need to add something,
What something?
some syntax or
There is no syntax here. There is no syntax. As we know, methods also have a members, isn't it? Parameters, right?
Mm.
Public
methods also has parameters.
methods also have void. Methods have parameters, right?
Yeah.
Arguments. So I can say set person details. This is my method name. All I'll do, all I'll do, string title, comma, string want to study, comma, string password, comma, string username. So simply, if I want to assign, now tell me title equal to title. Which title is assigning where? This one is this one or this one?
It's the string one.
How you know? How system will get to know which one is where? You can say, right, this title is this and this title is from here.
Because you're mentioning it under that public void, that particular thing.
No, no, no. Again, this is also same. This is also a variable now, public variable. Okay. Method arguments are also public when the method itself is a public. So to avoid this confusion to system, you need to use this dot. This always refers to your class level variables. Okay.
Okay.
To avoid that type of confusion, you have to say this dot. If I say in the next statement, I'll say wanted to study equal to wanted to study. If I say this here, then this will be your parameter and this will be your class variable. Okay,
Okay.
clear?
Yeah.
This wanted to study. And here, if I can say this dot password equal to password, this dot username equal to user name. Done. Yes or no? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me deploy it. Let me deploy it to the Salesforce server. Oh, I wanted to open my Salesforce arc, isn't it? Then I'll do Control Shift P. Control Shift P. SFDX open default or I can click here, this particular symbol. It will run a command and it automatically makes me log in. I don't want to enter my username and password anymore. Open auth successfully. It is running in. Where it? Developer console of Edge browser. So it is logging in right without my entry. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and I don't want to use this now. Let me go to my Chrome browser and my favorite too. I'll go here. I'll open my developer console. See, you wanted to test it right, but in Java and other languages, you have a local compiler. But sorry to say, Salesforce doesn't have any local compiler. You have to validate your classes from only with the developer consoles. Okay.
Okay.
First, we'll check whether we have our class or not. Star intro. Oh, we have our class here. Same thing. Whatever you entered there, it is available here because we deployed, right?
Yeah.
Because whether these methods are static methods or non-static methods.
Non-static.
For a non-static methods, if you want to call those methods, then you need to create an object. For non-static methods, all non-static members can be accessible only by its object. Okay.
Mm.
How to create an object? Class name. I'll say Gautam is an object. Gautam equal to new default constructor. Constructor means it looks like class. This is how the object will be declared. Class name, your object name, new keyword, and then your default constructor. Okay. If we
Mm.
don't have any constructors defined in this class, isn't it?
Yeah.
When there is no constructor, system will generate one default constructor. That is called this one. Clear? Any doubts in this?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's say if I want to define Gautam, by default, if I say system dot, I'll say system dot debug Gautam details. If I say Gautam detail, because I mentioned Gautam, if I do system dot debug title plus Gautam dot title. If I say title, whether it will display my Gautam title as a manager or worker or initializer 10, which one will come?
Manager.
Wow. What about you? Okay. You are
Mm,
saying by saying Gautam itself, we'll get Gautam. Why we don't get Viharika details then? Let's execute it. Execute highlighted. Okay. Execute. Oh, sorry. I need to select debug only. What is this? Initializer 10. Not even Gautam, not even. But why Gautam? Because you just create an object. By default, the values will be stored. Okay. These values will only update when you call a method. We never invoked that method, right?
Yeah.
yes.
To get that done, all I need to say Gautam dot set Gautam details. I'll say set Gautam details semicolon. If I execute now, yes, you are right. You will get your Gautam details, right? Main essay. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's do some tricky part here. I'll copy paste the same thing and I pasted it second title. Okay, second title, and this is first time title. Here also I am calling Viharika. Then what happens?
Viharika's title will show.
Viharika's title will show here.
In the second one,
In the first one?
it will show Gautam's.
Mine.
Okay. But it will show like this, right? So this is how it is working. So it means whether you are showing two titles or you are showing only one title value.
Two titles.
But okay, you are saying two titles. Then even if I copy paste this value to here, then also it should show two titles, right?
Yes.
Whether it will show two titles. Now here manager
No.
and here VRK.
Yes.
That don't know.
Whether it will show or it will not show.
So
It will show.
Which one will show? Manager and worker both.
I think it might show either error or else it will show both.
Okay.
Or else it will show only first title.
It will only show worker. Worker, right?
Uh,
Why?
Why? Nice question. So I am in the same folder, right? Intro folder, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am replacing which value? Title value only, right? Here,
Yeah.
from method. First I call set Gautam details. He updated like title in the Gautam folder. Now Viharika comes in full place and I say that, hey, let me update title to the worker. Then what will be the outcome after updating, even if you display 100 times?
It will display the later one.
Because you replace it, right? Might be Gautam updated manager. Yes, that is right. Till line number 3. At line
Yes.
number 4, what Viharka did it? No, no, this file should be let me update my Gautam folder also my details, the worker.
Yeah.
So how many times you display it will not it will display in the same way, right?
Yeah.
To avoid this confusion to system, what we can do here, we'll copy this and we'll create one more folder for Viharika. Okay?
Mm.
I'll
okay.
copy, paste it. So I'm calling my set Viharika details inside Viharika folder. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to display my what is Gautam's title, Gautam folder title, and what is my Viharika title. Now that belongs to the same two different objects now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is the expectation that you should be having. Now you can see manager and worker. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is one folder and this is one folder. So you can use that folder name. Based on that, you can able to do it. Okay.
Yeah. So here that Viharika and Gautam is an object, the one
Here,
we create.
yeah, Viharika and Gautam is an object.
Okay.
Let me say, no, yeah, I wanted to set my Lakshmi Deepak details also. Then what I will be doing, I'll be creating my own objects. I'll create my own object saying that person. I'll say person. I'll say person dot set person details. What is expecting by default? It is expecting some title, right?
Yes.
Master and wanted to study, no more studies, and
Username.
password is SFDC colon, username is IL Deepak. Now, if I display my thought title, if I display my thought title, instead of that, I'll use person. Execute. You got it right? If I want to add another person, all I need to copy paste this, right?
Yeah.
Now understand. If you want to do this one, then every time you need to modify a code, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with this, I can store 100 people of data. With this, I can store 100 people of data, right? I
Yes.
don't want to change any code. So this is the expectation in writing, not this one. Clear?
Yeah.
I'm deleting it. I'm deleting this particular not needed code. We go with the best practices. I made changes here. How can I get these changes here? Right click, retrieve this from source arc. You got it? Done.
Yeah.
They are in sync now.
Yes.
Okay. Now understand one thing. Understand. Let me go back to folders again. Control shift. Am I deleted? Recycle bin is there? No. Okay. Let me create a folder again called object one, object two, and I create. There is no new. Oh yeah, here you go. New. My document is title, and I'll say main essay. Okay, save. Okay, this title is manager. Let me go to object 2. I pasted it as a uh, open, and I'll say worker. Okay, clear. So the same, right? Two different folders with the two different titles. One is for Gautam, one is for Viharika. Instead of objects like this, I can say this is worker, right? Viharika. Stop me if you are getting confused, okay? Gautam. So now you can visualize it, right? This is one object and this is one object. Inside your object, your title was there, Gautam. Inside Viharika's title is there today, right? Can we create a shortcuts for a folders? We can create, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I created Viharika shortcut. I created Gautam shortcut also. But I thought like Viharika was very lazy. Gautam might have done so many changes. Let me focus. Let me create. Viharika is thinking to focus to reference to Gautam. Then what she did, she referenced. I mean properties instead of Viharika. She might refer to Gautam. Apply. Whether if I do any modification in this reference, where it will get modified?
Got him.
Gautam. What about Viharika? There are no more references to Viharika, right?
Yeah.
Even if Gautam updates, whether that value will reflect in Viharika or not.
Yes.
If Viharika updates, will it reflect in Gautam or not?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me go here. Let me go here. This yes says I need answer. Control Z. I take it down the values back. I take it down the values back. Whatever we have deleted. Control E. Control E is the shortcut to open. Okay. I'm not gonna use this. So what I'm doing here, Viharika set variables is using now what is saying Viharika is referring to Gautam, right?
Yeah.
Viharika equal to Gautam location, isn't it?
Mm.
What if I execute now? What will be the values? What will be the values?
Worker. Manager.
Manager. Perfect. That's the expectation. Debug only. Manager, right? Because
Yeah.
as discussed like folder concept, now Viharka is referencing to Gautam folder only. And if I
Yeah.
say viharika.set details, then what happens?
Still, it will be a manager.
Understand. If I replace anything on viharika, whether it will replace in Gautam or not.
Yes.
The object names are different, but they are referencing to a same folder.
Yes.
The object names are different, but they are referencing to the same object, right? Source object, source file.
Yes.
Clear or not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gautam,
Deepak.
clear?
Yes.
No, I don't. It doesn't sound like you are clear. Now understand this way, Gautam. You have
Okay.
a Google Drive, or like if you guys are using like iPhones, of course,
Uh-huh.
iCloud is there, right?
Yes.
You consider that you are using like a Mac system, and you are also
No.
using like iPhone.
Okay.
iCloud with the same account login. What happens if you upload any file from your phone? It will upload to the same memory, right?
Yeah.
If you upload anything from your Mac, it will upload to the same location, right?
Yes. Yes.
But they are two different objects, right? They are two different objects, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mac will have their own way of storing, and iPhone will have their own way of storing, right? But
Yeah.
what is the common location it is updating to?
Cloud.
Cloud. Any changes will gonna update to the same cloud. Now imagine this way: the Gautam shortcut is your phone, Viharka shortcut is your Mac,
Okay.
where the file is getting changed in a single folder, right?
Yeah.
Earlier, we created two different cloud accounts. These are each object is nothing but your cloud account. Two different cloud accounts. Later, Viharka decided, no, let me focus. Let me also sync it back to Gautam Cloud. So she moved her shortcut. She relocated. How she relocated? We can change in Windows that relocation target. She
Yeah.
targeted to Gautam.
Okay. So why to create shortcut? Because anyways, why don't you?
Just to explain the source, we can't target the folder itself to this one. How targets will be changed, the references will be changed. These are called references.
Okay. Okay.
I can't,
References to the.
yeah,
Okay.
references to that object. See, ideally, you have two objects got generated in the system, right? These two objects.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying, hey, while creating this one, I'm referencing. This is called, I'm saying that referencing. Don't say that
Yeah.
here we don't have shortcuts. Let's say this is called folder. The folder itself is referencing to another folder. But that
Okay.
example I can't show in a system. The reason behind limitations on a Windows. The folder will never have a target. You can see in the properties, there will be no target. It's a location.
Okay.
But
Oh
short
yeah.
but shortcut will give you the flexibility that I can show, like target.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Once I done, now I'm setting Viharka details. If I am updating Viharka object Viharka details, does it update my Gautam also?
Yes.
It actually updates Gautam. It will never updates to Viharika.
Yes.
Right? Now it will come as worker.
Okay. So worker title is Viharika's title, right?
Viharika's title, but you are saying Viharika is also syncing to
In-
Gautam folder.
Okay. Okay.
Whoever the
Okay.
latest thing, that will be the latest value, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happening here.
Okay.